it's Tiffany and welcome back to my channel. If you like sewing and DIY videos, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I have a very exciting video for you today. I'm gonna be doing a thrift flip challenge with my friend Candice, who you may also know as SewBakeMake. If you've never seen any of my thrift flip challenge videos before, we basically send each other something thrifted that we have to upcycle into something new. Candice and I are both Chinese, so we thought it'd be really fun to challenge ourselves to make our version of a modern cheongsam. So in today's video, I'm gonna show you how I turned this thrifted bedsheet into this cheongsam inspired matching set. Before we get started, here is Candice to introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Candice, or you might know me as SewBakeMake on social media. I'm so excited to be doing another collab with Tiffany this year. We didn't really know each other when she reached out last year to do this collab, and I'm just so glad that sewing and YouTube brought us together because we become friends through it, and we actually even got to meet in New York last year. I am so excited to see what she made with the fabric. I know it's gonna be incredible.
I just got back from the thrift store and I managed to find a few things that I think Candice is going to like. She did send me a few inspiration photos, so I think this is gonna work out and I really hope she likes it. If you wanna see exactly what I'm sending her, make sure to check out her video, and I am so excited to see what she makes. Transparently, it's been several months since I sent Candice that package. We had some shipping and scheduling issues, but I am so excited to get started, and I'm going to open the package that she sent me now. So she sent me two, I think these are sheets. I haven't opened them yet, but the print on this is gorgeous. And this one has like really pretty embroidery on it. So I am so excited to come up with some ideas on what to make with this. It's been a few days since I opened the package from Candice and she sent me two things. The first is this floral bedsheet, and you already know I love a floral print, and this one is just gorgeous. She also sent me this embroidered tablecloth that is just so incredibly stunning. I decided I'm not going to use the tablecloth for this upcycle because I want to take my time and really design something that's going to showcase this gorgeous embroidery. And if I'm being honest, I am so nervous to cut into this because I don't want to ruin it. I'm going to use the bedsheet for this thrift flip challenge, and the plan is to make separates because I do love to mix and match the pieces that I make. I'm gonna start with the top, and since this challenge is all about our take on the modern cheongsam, I'm gonna be making a cheongsam inspired top, and I'll be using this pattern, which is my go-to anytime I need to make anything with a mandarin collar, so I'll make sure to link it down below. I will be making a few modifications to the pattern, but I'll make sure to show you all of the adjustments that I make. Here is the original pattern for the front bodice. This is the center front, and you can see here that the pattern is not symmetrical. I'm only going to be using this side, and here it is traced out in a size 8. I'm also going to shorten my top, so I removed about 2 inches from the bottom here. I also want my top to have a keyhole neckline, so I draft a half teardrop shape, and I take my time until I'm happy with how it's looking. I'll cut this out, and here is the final pattern, and here it is cut out of the fabric. You can see here that this was cut on fold, and next step is to sew the darts, and you should have something that looks like this. Here is the pattern for the back, which I've shortened to match the front, and here is the fabric cut out. I'll go ahead and sew the dart, and then I'll repeat the same steps for the other side. Moving on, here is the original collar pattern, and here is my modified version. You can see here that I've just taken off a little bit along the top. This is the pattern for the sleeve, and I'm not going to be making any modifications. To put the top together, I'm placing my front piece and my back pieces right side spacing. I'll sew together along the shoulder seams and side seams, and you should have something that looks like this. Next step is to sew on the sleeves, and this is what the top should look like at this point. Here are my collar pieces, and I did iron on lightweight interfacing for added stability. I work my way along the neckline, carefully pinning the collar to the top right side spacing, making sure that the layers are not bunching as I work along the curve. I repeat the same steps on the other side, again being very careful as I pin. I'll sew this together, and this is what the collar should look like sewn on. Next step is to finish the inside of the top. I have this idea to make the top reversible, so I'm gonna make the lining with this cotton quilting fabric. It has these little cute, adorable flowers on them, and I think it's gonna look really good with the bedsheet. Here is the finished lining, and I'm placing my pieces wrong side spacing, and you can see here that I'm inserting the sleeve of the lining into the sleeve of the shell. Now starting from this point, I'm going to sew these layers together along the center back, all the way along the neckline, down the other center back, and along the bottom of the top. I'm gonna go ahead and use a basting stitch for this, and it doesn't have to be super neat at this point. I'm just sewing the shell to the lining so that they act as one. Here is a close-up of that, and you can see the basting stitch along the edge here. Here is a look at the inside, and it's not super neat yet, but like I mentioned before, this is just temporary. I also wanted to mention that I did go ahead and round off the corners along the top here and the bottom as well. I'm gonna go ahead and encase all of the raw edges with some DIY bias tape that I made from the lining, and I have a video on exactly how I make my own bias tape, so I'll make sure to link that down below. I start by machine sewing the bias tape to the top. I line up the edge of the bias tape to the top right sides facing, and then I sew using my presser foot as a guide. This is what the top should look like now, and you can see that the bias tape is still left unfinished. Before I finish that, I'm just turning my top inside out so that I can sew on these straps that I made with the leftover bias tape. This is what it should look like sewn on, and I also wanted to show you that I added 2 ties along the front as well. I didn't go into too much detail on how I made the straps because I just showed this technique a few months ago in my Lunar New Year outfit tutorial, so I'll make sure to link that down below in case you haven't seen it. Next step is to finish sewing the rest of the bias tape. Here is a close-up of what it looks like on the shell side as well as the lining side, and I'm just going to fold this over twice, encasing all of the raw edges, and I'll hand sew the rest of the bias tape in place. You can also machine sew this, but hand sewing gives it such a clean finish, and you already know that that makes me very happy. I finished the armholes in the same way, and here is the finished top. I've always been big on bows, but this is just too cute. I'm gonna start working on the bottoms today, and I really couldn't decide what I wanted to make, so I started looking at some images of cheongsams for inspiration. As you can see, the silhouette of a traditional cheongsam is pretty linear, and it's normally in a column shape. And since this challenge is all about modernizing the cheongsam, I've decided to make my bottoms a little bit more voluminous. I'm gonna be using this pattern, and I'm gonna make this in a size 8. I don't think I'm gonna be making too many modifications, and I'll pretty much be making this as is. Here is the front piece cut out, and I'm placing my back pieces right sides facing. I'll sew together along the side seams, and this is what it should look like now. I did decide to use French seams for this so that the insides look neat as well. Here is the first tier, and you can see that it is one long piece that is folded right sides facing, and the center back seam meets in the middle. The full measurement for this is 76 inches by 12 inches. This tier on the original pattern is only 10 inches long, but I wanted mine to be slightly longer. Now I'm going to sew a basting stitch all the way around the top to create these gathers. To attach this section to the rest of the skirt, I'm placing my pieces right sides facing and pinning together. I'm relaxing the gathers as I work my way across, trying to spread it out as evenly as I can. I've sped the video up, but I'm really taking my time to be careful here, making sure that the gathers are even. Once it's all pinned, I'll sew these 2 pieces together. This is what the skirt should look like at this point, and next step is to sew on the next tier, which I've already gone ahead and gathered. Just like the first tier, I decided to add a little bit of additional length as well, and the full measurement for this tier is 152 inches by 16 inches. I've also gone ahead and hemmed this tier just to make my life a little bit easier later. I sewed this on repeating the same steps as earlier, and you can see here that I've left an opening along the top of the center back. Next step is to sew in the invisible zipper, and this skirt is so close to being done. The original skirt pattern has a waistband, but I want my skirt to have a little bit of a cleaner look, so I'm gonna make a facing instead. This is the facing that I made, and I did iron on lightweight interfacing for added structure. I'm pinning these right sides facing, making sure I line up the side seams and work my way all the way around. I'll sew this together, and here is what the finished waist should look like. Here is a close-up, and you can see that I also sewed the zipper to the facing, and I covered all of the raw edges with my DIY bias tape. This is a little bit extra, but I did do the same for the seam allowance of the gathered section as well, and I love that it looks so clean. The outfit is all done, and I cannot wait to show it to Candice. Hi!
Hi!
How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm so good, and I'm so excited for this reveal. Can you remind everybody what you sent me?
I sent you a floral sheet and a vintage tablecloth.
The tablecloth was too beautiful, so I was too nervous to cut into it, but I love that vintage sheet. You know I love a floral, so I was very excited to see it, and I'm really excited to show you what I made.
Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. That is stunning. I love that drop waist skirt. I've been like looking at those on Pinterest, and I like really want to make one. It's so pretty. Oh my gosh, I love that bias tape. That's so pretty. I love the like 2 prints together. I love it. You did such a good job.
Well, thank you so much for sending me the best sheet. It was perfect for my aesthetic and I was so excited to do this. And I also have a little bit of fabric left over, so I will probably make something else.
Oh, that's amazing. No, this was so much fun. I'm so glad we could do this again.
Me too. Okay, thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.
I hope you all enjoyed this video. I've linked Candice's video down below, so make sure you go check it out right now to see what I sent her and what she turned it into. I will be posting more photos of my outfit on Instagram, so make sure you're following me there at Little Toe. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about this upcycle, and as always, thank you so much for watching.